Good evening. Good evening, families, friends, faculty, and the class of 2023. It is my distinct pleasure to welcome you to the 182nd Baccalaureate service at the Williston Northampton School. Consider that sentence for a moment. The class of 2023 is now part of a legacy that spans 3 different centuries and includes over 10,000 graduates. Baccalaureate and commencement services have long and storied histories. Unlike the massive and celebratory nature of our commencement exercise tomorrow, with over 2,000 people under the tent, tonight we gather in a smaller setting to pause, reflect, and celebrate academic achievement in a more formal and solemn atmosphere. The origin of this ceremony is debated, but the earliest recognized baccalaureate was at the University of Oxford in 1432 and was first performed in America at Princeton University in 1760. Tonight, the Williston Northampton School continues that tradition. I want to congratulate each and every person in this room. Congratulations to the families for all that you have done to support this class of seniors. Congratulations to the faculty. Without you, this school really isn't a school, and your guidance and direction have shaped and molded these seniors here tonight. And finally, congratulations to the class of 2023. As you prepare to embark on the next chapter of your lives, I urge you to take a moment to reflect on the journey that has brought you here tonight. You have spent countless hours studying, attending classes, both online and in person, and you have completed more assignments, opportunities, and assessments than you would want to count. Along the way, you have forged friendships and memories that will last you a lifetime. When I spoke to you last week at senior dinner, my advice was to approach your final days at Williston with excitement and gratitude. And I urge you to keep that sentiment in your mind as you enjoy your last day as a Williston student. In just 16 hours, you will be alumni, shaking the hands of the faculty members at the end of commencement. Be proud of all that you have accomplished, and once again, congratulations.
Good evening. As our resident historian and famous dean, Korakowski, informed us, this is indeed a very ancient tradition going back to medieval times. At Williston, even though we're 182 years strong, our modern tradition is to hear from our senior class officers on a personal reflection. Be glad that it's a modern tradition, because in ancient times, everyone would speak a sermon in Latin. So we'll turn things over now to your senior class officers.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Hira Asgar, and I am one of your fellow class representatives. I would first like to start by thanking all the wonderful teachers, deans, and dorm parents who helped shape who we have become today and who we will continue to be as we move on to college. Class of 2023, we have finally made it to the end. It's time to say our goodbyes and head on to the next part of our lives. The important thing to remember is that no matter where we go, there will always be a part of Williston with us. Although I have only been at Williston for 2 years, the impact Williston has had on my life has been tremendous. The connections I have built with my friends, the faculty, and my coaches are stronger than any I had ever built back home. The amount of love, kindness, and support that people at Williston provide is unlike any other. I actually still remember my first day of class last year, which was AP Calculus with Mr. Whipple. That was an experience. I remember how Catherine King and Louisa Coughlin had to help me open my OneNote. Now it's something I can do in my sleep. Fast forward to the winter, where we'll all gather to compete in a gingerbread making contest. Austin Condor and Mr. Villa are putting icing on each other's faces, while EMV is trying their best to replicate Sawyer Field. Although we didn't win, I still think our house was the best. These little moments are really what make the class of 2023 special. We are always able to gather and connect and make the best of everything, whether that be at the homecoming game, at Olympics, or at Willie Gras. It is important that we learn to cherish these moments and help them guide us in the future. I am about to read a poem that I discovered in my sophomore year at my old school back at Hershey before I arrived into this unknown world known as Williston, and I think it sums up my time here pretty well. This is Two Roads Not Taken by Robert Frost. Two roads diverged in a yellow wood, and sorry I couldn't travel both and be one traveler. Long I stood and looked down as far as I could to where it bent in the undergrowth. Then took the other, just as fair, and having perhaps the better claim, because it was grassy and wanted wear. Though as for that, the time passing there had worn them really about the same. And both that morning equally lay, in leaves no step had trodden black. Oh, I kept the first another day. Yet, knowing how way leads on to way, I doubted if I should ever come back. I shall be telling this with a sigh, somewhere ages and ages hence, two roads diverged in a wood, and I took the one less traveled by, for that has made all the difference. It has been an honor being your class representative. Thank you.
In 6th grade, my class's graduation song was Life is a Highway by Tom Cochrane. You all are probably familiar with the Rascal Flatts version from the Cars soundtrack. Growing up in the rolling hills of Conway, Mass., the home of less than 2,000 people, we didn't see many highways. It wasn't until later in life when I truly understood why we sang that song at graduation, and it wasn't because you had to take a highway to reach any civilization outside of my tiny town. It was because with each step we take in life, the speed limit gets faster. At my 6th grade graduation, I was moving up from a 30-mile-per-hour residential area to a 50-mile-per-hour crosstown road. As we embark on our next step, we are ready to merge onto the highway that is life. Speed limits have officially reached 65 in the state of Massachusetts, but it's probably higher for those of you that go whipping through the day student lot. This is unprecedented territory. I don't think any of us know the direction even the next year will take us. We're cruising down the freeway with an ambiguous destination. Each one of us is alone in our respective cars. You may be caravanning, you may be driving alongside somebody else, but nobody can truly be in this car with you. This is your journey. I don't know how many of you have driven a considerable distance alone, but it is certainly an interesting experience. It can be grueling and boring, but with the right music or podcast, it's not too bad. On this highway of life, the friends I've made here are my music. Each one of my friends provides me with warmth, comfort, and support. We engage in choruses of ongoing jokes and verses of heart-to-heart conversation. Even though this new music was discovered at Williston, it will stay with me for the rest of the drive. I can call my friends on the phone or take a quick exit to pay a visit. That backbone is there for you, but not if you sit in silence. Keep the aux rolling and use your support systems. You may be wondering where the faculty lie on this highway of life. The past 1, 2, 3, 6 years the Williston faculty has been there to guide me, push me, and remind me to proceed to my route. They are the GPS. For me, an Apple CarPlay utilizer, they are Waze. They remind me of the speed limit. They present me with alternate routes that I can choose to take or not. The faculty has not enforced in my time at Williston, but they have strongly suggested. The messages and morals grown at this school can be applied to the rest of the drive. Not only can you use the suggestions that were given to you before you merged, you can also plug in a quick address to Waze and send an email to a teacher. Now, I do not condone emailing while driving. This is only for the sake of the metaphor. Teachers at Williston teach because it is who they are. Just like Coach Lee said at senior dinner, they are not in it for the money. Utilize the purpose and passion of this support network and proceed to the route. Sometimes, of course, it's necessary to deviate from the path to make for a desirable journey. Who knows? There might be a rest stop with an arcade inside just off the highway, or an aquarium at the next exit if you're feeling ambitious, or maybe you just want a cheese stick. Take time for yourself. Make time for those who are important to you. And give a good listen to those who are truly invested in your success. When you take an exit, you allow yourself to refresh, regroup, and remember what you strive for. I strive for happiness. I strive for fulfillment. If a pit stop delivers those to me, I'm gonna take one. We move, though. We take a pit stop. We're not getting off for good. Life is a highway, and there's nowhere to go but forward. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Elsa Frankel, and I'm one of your senior class representatives. I've had the honor of growing over the past 6 years in this community, immersed in outstanding academic, artistic, and athletic opportunities. However, when I stand back here today and look back on my experience at Williston, what truly strikes me are the little moments with the people I've met, and I'd like to share some of those moments with you today. I still remember the spot where I met some of my greatest friends from the past 4 years. The frosty wilderness of Camp Beckett. We stayed for a weekend orientation trip, and I had one goal: to finish my book and remain introverted. However, one of the girls on my trip had other plans. She tells me to this day that her exact thought process was, "Oh, she looks really lonely. I'm gonna go talk to her." Needless to say, my plans were quickly foiled. Each day, her and a few other friendly faces chatted with me between activities, and I slowly developed the friendships that I'd spend late nights on the phone with, and that I'd run to Casara with at the end of each trimester, and that I'd always credit for breaking me out of my shell that freshman year, encouraging me to meet all the wonderful people in our class. But my experience at Williston extends far beyond wholesome introductions. I've also had some wonderful experiences with the Williston girls varsity tennis team, led by our fearless coach, Mrs. Conroy. However, no team can outshine the 2019 Thirds tennis team. Listen to this lineup. 5 seniors and postgrads, all over 6 feet. 1 freshman, and 2 8th graders, Sophie Edmonds and I, who were deemed by the postgrads, I'll add, honorary captains. Now, to any rational person, this group sounds like a disaster waiting to happen. But the team actually ended up forming a wonderful bond. A typical practice went something like this. We arrive. Sophie and I lead the team through dynamic warm-ups and a run. Everyone had a nickname, so our run would be guided by Father John, or John Kelly, as many knew him. Jogging at a pace slightly faster than walking, maybe, depending on the day, and his arms were outstretched wide to make sure that no one else could pass. And of course, during practices, the cadence was pretty similar. We joked often about birds and other random topics, and each day felt like a meeting with friends, more than just a required activity. But I've talked a lot about my beginning years at Williston, so let's fast forward a few. It's the middle of COVID-era spring 2021, and I'm sitting in my Honors Algebra 2 class. My teacher, Mrs. Hill, opens up a new note sheet titled The Unit Circle. Essentially, to put it simply, the unit circle is a circle with a radius of 1, centered at the origin, and that helps us better understand angle measurements and trigonometric functions. So what's so special about that concept? I'm not fully sure, but that lesson was sure captivating because, 2 years later, Mrs. Hill is my advisor. My college essay is about the unit circle. My room is themed after the unit circle. Life just happens like that sometimes, Anyways, finally, I'd like to share with you a moment that took place over a week ago in the Senior Sunset event. The whole class gathered on Sawyer Field at 6:45 p.m. on a Wednesday to celebrate one of our final few nights left together. This month is full of many events built for our class, but something struck me about the tranquil simplicity of this event. The unique comfort of everyone coming together, forgetting for a second about their individual teams, hobbies, typical friend groups, and just connecting. See, you probably thought the stories I shared were all over the place, and they were. But that's kind of the point. Our lives at Williston have taken many different paths since our first day as a Wildcat, yet here we are, in this one last moment. And all of our experiences, in a sense, are converging to make us who we are today, to form our lasting impression of Williston. And so I say thank you all for every moment over these past 6 years.
Hello, my name's Annika Jensen, and I'm one of your senior class representatives. It feels like just yesterday, and simultaneously years ago, when Catherine and I were standing in front of everyone at our class dinner the night of convocation. During that speech, we focused on being present and enjoying every last second we had before becoming alums. I hope that message resonated with everyone and helped put this year in perspective. The message I want to focus on tonight is reminding all of us to be grateful. It is important we celebrate ourselves and our years of hard work, but please don't forget about the people around you that helped you get here. Just a few weeks ago, I was sitting in JT's chair in the cage looking at the memories lining the walls. They were plastered with everything from letters and stickers to photographs and artwork, all from past students. I suddenly felt my stomach sink a little, because soon I too would just be a signature in the cage. I clearly remember looking over at my friend Pearson and asking, do you think we're just going to be more people on the wall? This idea of becoming a story that JT tells to his next cage workers saddened both of us. Not only did it make me process the fact that we are leaving so soon, but it made me question the importance of our graduation to the faculty and staff. Moments later, we worked up the courage to ask JT if he keeps in touch with those kids. He was quick to explain that he had just texted one of the girls the previous day. He continued to point to every single image and picture and tell us a story about each kid and about their lives as adults now that they've graduated Williston. I know I only have time for this one example, and I don't want to speak for the entire faculty and staff population, but I'm inferring that most adults in the Williston community have similar mementos from past students. The reason I chose to talk about this seemingly short interaction I had is to hopefully share my light bulb moment and help it click for all of you if it hasn't already. We owe everything to them, to the faculty, to our parents, to our friends. Attending the Williston Northampton School would not have been possible if it weren't for the tireless faculty members who pour their hearts and souls into guiding and teaching us. None of us would be here without the support and approval of our parents. Last, but definitely not least, the memories we've made wouldn't have happened without each other. So in order for us to express our gratitude, there will be thank you cards at the dessert reception after this. If a faculty member came to mind during this talk, please take the time tonight to put real thought and heart into writing a thank you letter for them. If you finish your letter in time for graduation tomorrow, consider handing it to your faculty member when we walk around the quad to shake hands. I can assure you that they will not only cherish the card, but all of their memories of watching you grow. Last but not least, please don't forget to thank your parents and guardians. Yes, you can write your parents a card, but one thank you doesn't account for everything. They made countless sacrifices. They gave up not only the last days, but the last years leading up to us going off to college for us to be here right now with each other. In short, don't forget to say thank you. But don't stop there. Explain what you're thankful for. Make those who worked in the background of our development into young adults feel seen, because all they truly want to see is you succeed. You won't regret it, I promise, and thank you for letting me be your senior class representative.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Catherine Kang, and I'm your final class representative. In the intensity of the moment we are all in, our final time, all sitting here together in the chapel, it feels as though every moment and every memory will stick with us forever. But in 10, 20, 30 years from now, we can probably all understand this will not be true. However, what I do believe will be with us in some form is this feeling of friendship. Friendship is many different things. It is proximity, walking to practice with your team, cracking jokes in the dining hall, playing spike ball on the quad. But just as importantly, perhaps even more, friendship is a feeling. It is a warmth that people throughout your day bring to your life. It is the act of both loving and feeling loved. Goofy greetings during passing periods, inside jokes and shared dread over a test, unspoken side eyes following an awkward moment in class. All the moments, big and small, constitute the comfort and constancy of a friendship. So, to illustrate the gifts and joys of such friendship, I would like to share some wisdoms from the sweet creatures Charlotte and Wilbur from E.B. White's Charlotte's Web. The unexpected and unusual friendship between a spider and a pig started with the simple proximity of living underneath the same barn roof. But quickly, the animals saw in one another something special and began to understand each other's underlying worth. After Charlotte saves Wilbur's life, the pig asks the spider, "Why did you do all this for me? I don't deserve it. I've never done anything for you." "You have been my friend," replied Charlotte. "That in itself is a tremendous thing. I wove my webs for you because I liked you. After all, what's a life anyway? We're born, we live a little while, we die. A spider's life can't help being something of a mess with all this trapping and eating flies. By helping you, perhaps I was trying to lift up my life a trifle. Heaven knows anyone's life can stand a little of that." The heroism of Charlotte to save a seemingly worthless pig is easy to see. But from Wilbur, she too was lifted. In an otherwise bloodthirsty spider, Wilbur's love inspired an extraordinary kindness. And just as Wilbur had Charlotte for only a brief season, years from now, our time at Williston may feel like a mere instant in the duration of our lives. However, just as the animals' friendship changed them both forever, so too have the people we've met here at Williston. And as I reflect on the tremendous joys of the past week, this past year, these past 4 years, I can't even imagine my feelings tomorrow as we walk in together for the last time. For 4 years, I could only imagine such a moment, and yet here we are, about to say goodbye. However, in my sadness, I also know we have so many new and exciting paths ahead of us. Paths that will be enriched by the people and friendships and experiences we've all shared. And so tomorrow, as I sit outside under the tent and look around at all of you, I will remind myself that this isn't an ending, as anyone who has been graced with friendship knows, because friendship of all kinds change us forever. Tomorrow, I will be thinking how very lucky I have been to have all of you in my life. As in Charlotte's Web, Wilbur too had to say goodbye to Charlotte. And so, on the farm, the crickets felt it was their duty to warn everybody that summertime cannot last forever. Even on the most beautiful days in the whole year, the days when summer is changing into fall, the crickets spread the rumor of sadness and change. In the daytime, Wilbur usually felt happy and confident. No pig ever had truer friends, and he realized that friendship is one of the most satisfying things in the world. Even the song of the crickets did not make Wilbur too sad. Thank you.
Thank you, seniors. Parents and faculty, seniors, it's my pleasure tonight to introduce the speaker, Mr. McCullough, who after an illustrious 24-year career as Williston's Chief Financial Officer is exchanging the workplace for the fun spaces where he and Mrs. McCullough can ski, climb mountains, follow the Dave Matthews Band, and spend time with their daughters, Sarah, class of 2010 from Williston, and Laura, class of 2015 from Williston. This is a bona fide passing of the torch moment from one who is retiring after a lifetime of good work to you, the class of 2023, poised to leave Williston as alumni. Ready or not, world, here you come. I will say this before ceding the podium to Mr. McCullough. Mr. McCullough has embodied the school's values of purpose, passion, and integrity like no other for the school and the city of East Hampton. During his remarkable tenure, he has been a founding member of the East Hampton Learning Foundation, a member of the building committee for East Hampton's new high school, and the school's chief liaison with the city planners and other officials. Mr. McCullough has epitomized what it means to be a good citizen and neighbor, not to mention what it takes to be the business manager in charge of a $30 million annual budget for Williston. For 13 years, he and I have worked closely together, and I know how much Williston, the independent school world of chief financial officers, and I will miss his expertise and counsel. Please join me in welcoming a devoted colleague and close friend to the podium.
Again, welcome to everyone here tonight. And again, senior class officers, great job on their talks tonight. As Mr. Hill said, I'm Chuck McCullough, and it's been my privilege to serve the Williston community, the students, the faculty, the employees, and the students' families at the school as the business officer for 24 years. And like the class of 2023, as Mr. Hill mentioned, I'm also graduating along with my wife, Martha. She was a Williston teacher and coach. We're both retiring at the end of this school year, so we share with the seniors the excitement, the nervousness, and also the hope of what's next. Now, when Mr. Hill asked me to speak here tonight, I was certainly honored, but I started wondering, obviously the seniors are in the audience, but parents, guardians, family members are also here, many of whom have received tuition bills and bills from the school for over the years, from me. So I asked Mr. Hill, do you think this is a good idea that one of the last people from Williston to formally speak with parents is the person who'd be sending them tuition bills and raise the tuition every year? He said, don't worry about it, it'll be fine. But I do want to say that if you have any misgivings at all, please take it up with Mr. Hill after the service. He lives right next door. So, to family and friends, my fellow Williston employees and faculty members, all of whom I hold in the highest regard, and to the seniors, I stand in front of you truly humbled to speak with you today. Now, to the family members and my colleagues, I am now going to speak to the seniors directly. You are more than welcome to listen, but I am going to be my comments are going to be just for the class of 2023. So seniors, I know a number of you, but not all of you. But all my colleagues up front here tonight, similar to them, you are always on my mind in any decisions I have made over the years. We are here because of you. Your goals, your challenges, your successes all mean so much to all of us. This has been true in the past, presently with you, and will continue to be the case in future years. That is what is meant by the phrase Williston community. But you might still be asking, what does the school business officer have in connection with me? Well, let me give you a couple of quick examples. I'm going to have the seniors just give me a show of hands. How many of you used your SAMI card to purchase something at the campus store? All right, keep your hands up. At the Stubot. Anyone else? Additional? At Tandem Bagel. There you go. Or in another store in town, like Dunkin' Donuts or whatever. All right, it keeps coming. Or you had to open a door on campus somewhere using the SAMI card. All right, there you go. Well, hands down. Another show of hands. How many of you used your Surface computers daily while at Williston? There you go. Now, a really important show of hands for for tonight. Who's appreciating the air conditioning in this space tonight? Some of us have been at this event when there was no air conditioning in this building. I can tell you, we were thinking of you, but we were also thinking of us too. However, these behind-the-scenes activities I'm involved with, along with the teams from the business office, the campus safety, technology, dining, and physical plant, all are done to make sure you had a good experience at Williston. So let's touch on another community effort from a number of years ago, the creation of a song, Williston's alma mater. It's sung at important campus gatherings, including tonight's service. So let's take a look at the alma mater, which is in your program. You can open it up now. So go to the list of the order of events and see where the singing of the alma mater is. Then read the list of names who wrote the lyrics. You may recognize a name or two. Along with my name, you might see the school's recently retired academic dean, the one and only Greg Talea's name. Some of you know him. He spoke at this event 2 years ago. To you seniors, as well as graduates past and future students, the group of writers was thinking of you when writing the lyrics to the alma mater. So let's look at the words together. The lyrics are in the back of the program. Just like you would at Miss Sawyer's, Mr. Leibowitz's, Mr. Hanford's, or Miss Levine's English class, let's talk about what the writers were thinking. Or like at a writer's workshop, you can ask me, one of the writers, regarding what the thoughts were going through the writers' minds in writing the song. So Miss Sawyer might ask, say, Elsa Frankel, to consider a question like, there seems to be many historical references, Sam and Emily, Sarah and Dorothy, Northampton and East Hampton. Why did the writers think this was so important to reflect on the history? Elsa, might you ask that question?
Why did writers think this was so important to reflect on the history?
That's a great question, Elsa. Thank you so much. So here's my thoughts on that. In the history of the two schools that ultimately merged to form Williston we know today, the founders demonstrated incredible care regarding the students' well-being. In writing the alma mater, it was important we represented this past. The histories and traditions always focused on the students. Joyful Bell summons one and all is a direct reference to the Angelus Bell from Northampton School for Girls, and is now rung at convocation and graduation ceremonies and will be tomorrow. Or maybe Dom DiFilippo, Miss Levine may ask you to consider a question like, why do you think the writers were compelled to put the line in the alma mater, always proud of the green and blue?
Why do you think the writers were compelled to put the line in the alma mater, always proud of the green and blue?
That's an incredibly great question, Dom. Thank you so much. I actually remember the group of writers crafting that line in the fourth stanza. The group thought it was important to give present students a chance to express their energy. We also wanted the entire community to have a memorable line that taps into the current pride of the school. So an alma mater is supposed to be a more reflective song at important moments, but it's always fun to hear the emphatic green and blue whenever it is sung, hopefully later tonight. So another question. This one may be from Siga Puya. Yeah, sorry, Siga. I worked on that so much, Siga. My apologies. Yeah. Mr. Hanford may ask you a question like, why do the writers end the lines of each stanza with hearts and minds, dreams and lives? That's a brilliant question, Siga. Thank you so much. So originally, just guide our heart, O Williston, was the end of each stanza. But everyone, all of us here tonight, we want it all for you. Full lives, acting on your dreams, with caring hearts and open minds. When I talk to your teachers and advisors, they are always so passionate about all that you are doing and succeeding. We wanted that hope for your futures to be reflected in this song. So I hope you can see the writers of the alma mater, the faculty, all the employees, your families, and you make the Williston community what it is. Always excited for you, the current students, and reflecting on those who came before you and will come after you. And you need to know, the care does not stop. All of us will continue to be excited for you. We all love to hear from you regarding what you are doing and where you are going. We want all of you to try new things, meet new people, stay in touch with each other, do great work, help those less fortunate, and have fond memories of your time here. There are lines in the first stanza of the alma mater. In the valley we call home. We, the Williston community, you, us, the past, the present, the future, can call this home. Sunrise over mountain ledges, Mount Tom in the morning in the distance. In your sight, everywhere you roam. Wherever you end up, anywhere and everywhere you roam, your next adventures, you will always have a home at Williston. Remember this place and all of us fondly, as we will of you. We care for you all very much. Peace to all of you. Thank you.
Thank you, Honors Chambers Singers. That was truly lovely. It's amazing to hear from the perspective we had as faculty, where you hear all the parts roll into one. I've never experienced that before either. That was absolutely fantastic. I'm not the brightest bulb in the chandelier, so I know I shouldn't talk a long time and stand between you all and cake. But I do want to note that the remarks you heard tonight, I think, are just so emblematic of Williston as a whole, as a school. Robert Frost, the Unit Circle, Charlotte's Web, gratitude, faculty as part of a Ways world. It reflects each one of these wonderful individuals, but I think it also reflects the whole class of 2023. So we will stand, we'll sing the alma mater, then the faculty will recess out. We're going to go to the side lawn for cake, and I hope everybody's able to join us there.